Hi guys, and welcome to our next video. In this video we're gonna continue the series of SQL injections. We're gonna see now what is a user agent, how can we actually go for exploiting the user agent into performing some kind of injection attacks. So basically let's start by simply opening a web browser and navigating to our view app. So here 192.168.1.104, go for view app, and here debug login. Now choose bug and scroll down to SQL injection stored user agent. So here we have some kind of a database about how many people have visited our website in this exact page. So we have date, we have IP address, and we have user agent. So now let's explain what's user agent, and before we actually continue with the attack, we need to analyze what we know so far. So in order to perform that attack and in order to understand user agent, first open burp. So we need to edit the preferences, the proxy, in order to make burp to work. So go to settings, manual proxy 197.0.0.1.80.80, okay. And now go to desktop and just open up burp. So this tool is going to allow us to see the whole request as we saw before, and in that request we are included with the user agent as well. So that's where we can modify the whole user agent. Of course, you can use add-ons of Firefox such as temper data, but as long as you are used to work with burp, you don't need such add-ons. So basically go to proxy, intercept on, make sure you've set up the proxy correct. So go to intercept on and just refresh the page. Now go to burp and we see the whole request body right there. So basically we have the user agent, and what is the user agent is basically how the browsers are identified in web. So basically the web servers are actually understanding the browsers by the user agent. Whenever you use a browser and you connect to a specified web address or website, you've assigned a user agent to that connection. And this is one of the ways that you can be traced back. For example, when you have so let's say you are attacking a website and you did not change your default user agent, you've changed your only the IP address. So basically whenever you hack or compromise data and therefore you connect with that site without changing the IP, without actually attacking, or you connected with your real IP before actually performing the attack, they can compare the dates, they can compare from the log files the user agents and the different IPs, and this is how you can get traced. So basically they can see that the same user agent was actually logged in several times just from a different IP, and from one user agent there were such attacks from the one of the IP, and you have the same user agents but different IPs, and so they can trace your real IP. So in order to protect yourself, just go ahead, change your user agent. There is an add-on in Firefox called user agent Firefox switcher. Just type that in Google and you should see user agent switcher. Go for that extension, and that extension simply allow you to actually modify sorry, the burp is on. Uh, so basically this extension allows you to modify your user agent, and you can, for example, fake the web server that you are, for instance, using Internet Explorer or Edge or even Chrome, Opera, and so on. So basically modifying and changing your user agent is quite useful and quite needed too. So besides our IP address, when performing an attack, it's good to actually hide your user agent as well. So here, so now let's analyze here what can we do for actually make SQL injection. So basically here, your IP address and user agent string have been locked in database. Download the log file. And now let's disable that for a second, intercept, and now we have some kind of log file locating /logs, build /log visitors.txt. Okay, so we have the log file here about user agent. So basically now let's see how can we modify the user agent, and now we focus again here. Now let's just intercept, refresh the page, and now in the user agent we can, for example, type Chrome or simply some random string like and just forward that. Now we see we have Chrome and not this time. So basically we can input any user agent we want in any request using burp. You see that we simply put different strings, and the strings were represented by the web server. So basically this is how we can write the web server for just one request to our user agents, but I personally prefer using the add-on since it's kind of annoying to modify the request a single time. So here now we know we can modify the request. Now let's go and actually see how can we inject something into that user agent. So let's just refresh that again, and now instead of actually modifying the user agent, for example Chrome or anything we want, let's just type a single quote and click forward. Now we get a SQL error. So basically the user agent is some kind of a connecting with the database. The whole user agent stored there is directly connecting with database, and basically whenever we put as a user agent is being stored in the database. So this is how we can actually use this vulnerability in order to inject SQL commands, SQL sequences in user agent. So basically instead of user agent, the database is not going to save the user agent, is going to save the SQL commands that we can give to the database. So here the procedure is quite the same. We can just go open a burp, just refresh the page, open a burp, and here just put everything you want, for example one and single quote. Therefore we specify select, then we need to type concat strings, and therefore we need to specify login, password from users, and the terminator right here, click, and then therefore we can send this to repeater in order to have a better output. So click go. So we see SQL error, no, we have no vendor available. So okay, we need a group to concatenate the group, sorry. So group, go for group concat. This is gonna concatenate the groups, the login and password, and it's gonna store the information right in front of us. So basically click go, we have an error again. Okay, select, oh, we need to specify another bracket, so click go. And I think we forgot the comma here. Click go. Yeah, okay, so we're good to go. You see, when you got stuck into something, just take a little bit to overlook what have you done and what have you entered, and just try to actually see from the cheat sheet what are you basically doing, because you can get stuck for hours literally. Just keep yourself help yourself with the cheat sheet, it's always good. So we specify anything here. We can work with ASD, SDS, that just do not matter, but I prefer one since it's simpler. So here comma, and therefore select group concat. This is gonna actually concatenate the strings of login and password, and we just select that from users. We put the double brackets and we close double brackets, and therefore we specify the terminator. So we go to render, and we see we have instead of a user agent we have user and password. Okay, so nice. That's how we can actually inject a malicious commands into user agent, inject a malicious SQL. So basically with exploiting the user agent we can actually get to know a username, a password, the login credentials, and we can just inspect tables in such a way, and we can continue of exploiting that vulnerability. But as we said before, keep in mind that stored SQL injections are not that big of a deal because you get a high chance of getting triggered. But if you act fast and like edit the records, you can do stored injection and then edit the record you saw immediately after you save that to the default one, then you're good to go. But yeah, this is the point of stored injections. They see here, they stay here on the page, and no matter time how much I refresh the page, I'm gonna get the exact same output because it's stored right there. So you see here, we get the users and the password. So this was our tutorial about SQL injection in user agent. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next video when we are continuing the series of attacking web apps. Thank you everyone for watching and stay tuned.